It's what I do best. Just know that I am the most grateful person alive, but I'm also keeping it real.
Yeah, this girl doesn't really help the movie. The more she speaks, the less people...
I have a feeling that this video is gonna get taken out of context, and I know that at this point I can't really stop people.
It's what I do best. I'm beyond thankful. Truly. But I'm also not here to sugarcoat things. The more she talks, the worse it gets for the film. Every time she opens her mouth, interest fades. And look, I know this clip is probably going to be twisted, misquoted, and taken way out of context. But at this point, I've accepted that. That's Hollywood. You stay too long in the spotlight, and eventually it warps you. And now, we're watching the fallout. Rachel Zegler has finally broken her silence. But not with an apology, not even with clarity. Just accusations. She ghosted the entire drama. No IG notes, no vague tweets, no PR walkbacks, just silence. Ice cold, calculated silence. And now that she's talking again, instead of reflecting, she's deflecting. If you don't like it, feel free to unfollow. No hard feelings. I'm not here to convince anyone. I'm just calling it how I see it. According to a wave of leaked messages and behind-the-scenes whispers, Rachel Zegler is pointing fingers in every direction after the downfall of her much-hyped Broadway debut. Insiders claim she's not just blaming the director or the production team, she's reportedly calling out her own castmates, accusing them of creating a toxic environment from the very beginning. The narrative from her alleged inner circle? She was never truly welcomed. From day one, she was treated like an outsider. They didn't want her there. And now, the internet's in meltdown mode. Critics and fans are torn. Some are furious, saying, why accept a role if you clearly resent it, especially in such an iconic musical? To them, it sounds like nothing but excuses. But others? They think she's finally telling her truth, that she was sidelined, mocked, maybe even sabotaged. Here's the twist. Her team hasn't denied any of it. In fact, fresh reports suggest this whole blame the cast approach might be part of a bigger PR game, a strategic move to rewrite the story and salvage her image. The silence, it's over. The sympathy battle has begun. And if these rumors are true, she's just getting started. Her name is Rachel Zegler. Yes, that Rachel from the new Snow White. And people are asking, if Disney let go of Gina Carano for far less, what now? When the Evita production began to unravel, Rachel Zegler didn't say a word. Headlines exploded. Stories of walkouts, shouting behind the scenes, rumors of people being fired, creative clashes, and even a viral video that looked like Zegler stormed off stage. But still, no response, no tweets, no press statements, no subtle red carpet comments. That silence? It spoke louder than any statement ever could. In today's celebrity world, staying quiet is often seen as a move, and people noticed. Every passing day without an explanation made the mystery grow. Fans were desperate for answers. Industry insiders whispered. Gossip accounts had a field day. Was she hiding because she had something to cover up? Was her legal team calling the shots? Or was she simply waiting for the chaos to fade so she could make a quiet comeback? Meanwhile, her career seemed to take a hit. She was reportedly dropped from Paddington 3. Officially, they blamed the actors' strike, but fans believe the real reason was different. Some say it was fallout from the backlash over Snow White, and studios were too nervous to take a financial risk. As rumors multiplied, so did the theories. She had lawyers involved. She was dropped by her reps. She was waiting to shift the blame elsewhere. And that silence? It created a storm. Now that she's finally speaking, every sentence is being picked apart. Some are cheering her return, saying she was unfairly canceled for simply being herself. Others are skeptical, seeing her recent comments not as honest reflection, but as a strategic comeback. Instead of offering apologies, she's clapping back. Instead of transparency, we're getting anonymous leaks. And instead of moving forward, her reported strategy seems to be tear down the old narrative and build a new one. Her silence wasn't just a pause, it was the lighting of a fuse. And now, the fallout is everywhere. Rachel Zegler is getting a lot of hate, and it's definitely not because she's a person of color. No, it's because she doesn't like Snow White, who is inherently white. We know that it's in the name, it's in the story. No, it's because in all of her interviews, she seems really young and inexperienced. Not that she is a young and inexperienced actress. No, she's won a Golden Globe. so she should definitely know what she's doing. And when she landed a big role like this and realized that this is not the character that she really wants to portray, she should have given that role to someone who really understands that character and loves that character. Because, after all, it's Disney's fault for recreating movies instead of giving people of color brand new stories to tell, and Rachel Zegler should have known that and understood that. You mean, if she was to play Barbie now, that would be a different story. The silence broke not with a press release, but with a leak according to multiple posts, circulating on Reddit Discord and TikTok. Someone close to the production, or possibly to Rachel herself, shared a private message thread that changed everything in it. Rachel allegedly vents about the Evita collapse, and the tone not humble, not heartbroken, but furious. They never wanted me, one alleged message reads. I was set up from day one another. They built that cast around people who hated me like that girl. Still has a fan base, she still has dedicated supporters, and she probably will still be booked after this. Because, guess what? She's actually talented. Like, it doesn't matter if you think the movie is bad or the movie's too woke or whatever. It literally doesn't matter. She's still getting paid. But what are you doing crashing out in her comment section? You just look silly. She's not going to respond to you guys. She's not going to address the backlash because she doesn't care. It literally doesn't matter. Like, do you really expect her to ruin the rollout of her own movie? Like, why would she disparage the movie that she's literally in, that she literally is starring in? Like, just give it up, and it's grown-ass people in her comment section as well. Not even the young people, like teenagers, grown-ass men, like people with families. And you need to find something better to do with your time. Please get a job, please get employed, go and collect your checks like she is. The leak, which has yet to be confirmed, but is gaining traction across fan communities, paints a chilling picture. Zegler wasn't just struggling on stage. She felt like she was under siege behind the scenes. The whispers of sabotage suddenly feel louder because this isn't just about artistic differences or casting decisions anymore. This is about betrayal. I hope everyone stops giving Rachel Zegler just such a hard young woman, like, you know what is she supposed to do? You not made a bad decision and poured millions and millions of dollars into something that no one gave a about. Don't blame it on a 20-year-old girl. Like, it's just horrible. And also it's just that it just relies, they know that just by throwing a few little things at her, the internet hates women. Hates young women that do well. And so they just it's like throwing Likeate a little bit of like food into the sea of piranhas, and then it's just like, get her. And then that becomes the story, and it's really mean. She allegedly names says the vocal. Coach refused to help her improve claims. The choreographer made her feel humiliated in front of the cast, hence that other actors iced her out during rehearsals. And the most damning part, she reportedly believes it was intentional. Not just coldness, not just bad vibes, but a deliberate campaign to make her fail and watch her crash. She was crying in her dressing room after every run-through one anonymous source claimed on TikTok. They'd laugh when she missed cues. They wanted her gone, of course. None of this has been verified by Zegler herself, but that's the genius of the leak. It's technically unofficial, which gives her team plausible deniability. But it's loud enough to change the conversation. It doesn't matter whether every word is true. It matters that fans believe there might be a truth buried in there. It reframes the narrative from diva meltdown to young actress targeted by a toxic inner circle. She didn't fail. They made her fail. That's the seed being planted, and it's already growing. The leak wasn't vague. It didn't point fingers in the dark. It aimed directly at specific names. And it hit, according to alleged DMs. And off their ord, accounts now circulating in Broadway forums and gossip channels. Rachel Zegler has quietly begun naming the people she holds responsible for the Evita disaster. And it's not just one scapegoat first in her crosshairs. The choreographer, she allegedly claims that from the very first rehearsal, they treated her like a liability, not a lead. There are rumors of passive-aggressive corrections, subtle on-stage humiliations, and even whispers of her being left out of critical dance briefings. Then comes the vocal coach, reportedly a seasoned pro brought in to help Zegler meet the musical demands of Evita. But instead of mentorship, she allegedly got condescension. She said, "I'd never be able to carry the role." One supposed DM reads, "I wasn't trained her way, so she didn't bother helping." And it gets messier. Fans are speculating she's even turning on the current Evita replacement, the actress who took over after Zegler's sudden departure, not by name, but through implications calling her the safe pick, the insider's choice, someone who knew how to play the politics. Some believe Zegler is subtly pushing a narrative that the production was waiting for her to crack, just so they could slot in someone they preferred all along. They wanted a fall girl, reads one viral comment, and Rachel gave them one. Whether this is deliberate, here is your script, rewritten without any wording changes, just a clean retype for formatting or flow. Nothing has been added, removed, or edited for content or tone or. Not the effect is the same. The heat is shifting away from Zegler onto the people who were supposed to support her. And the cast, dead silent, no one's clapping back, no counter interviews. No damage control, just a wall of silence that only adds fuel to the fire. It creates the illusion that they have something to hide. Or worse, that it's true. If Zegler's goal is to fracture public trust in the production team and recast herself as the victim, it's working. Because right now she's not just breaking her silence, she's rewriting the script at. First, the leaks felt random, but the more you look, the more intentional they seem. Insiders now believe what's unfolding isn't just a chaotic meltdown. It's a coordinated media pivot. A soft rebrand, an image makeover engineered from behind the scenes. Multiple sources across TikTok commentary, celebrity gossip pods, and even niche PR newsletters have noted a pattern. Sudden leaks followed by calculated silence, followed by subtle sympathy. Grabs one moment, it's a leaked DM about being sabotaged the next. A carefully curated Instagram photo of Rachel looking pensive. No caption, just vague melancholy and a high fashion filter. Then a cryptic story reposting, a fan defending her with no comment, just the eyes, emoji coincidence, or controlled chaos. Some say her team is now testing public sentiment in real time, leaking just enough to stir conversation, then sitting back to measure the reaction. And depending on how audiences respond, the next move is deployed more leaks. A podcast interview, maybe even a staged, candid moment with a celebrity friend. Whispers of a full-scale image. Rehabilitation campaign are already circulating. A glossy Vanity Fair piece setting the record straight. A tearful appearance on a sympathetic talk show. Maybe Fallon or Colbert a behind-the-scenes mini-documentary teasing her raw truth. And here's the twist, they're not denying the Evita collapse. They're reframing it not as a failure, but as a lesson. Not as her fault, but as a young woman facing a hostile environment. It's PR 101 with a Gen Z twist. Don't just apologize. Narrativize. Make the fall part of the origin story. Make the critics look cruel. Make her the misunderstood heroine. And if this really is a strategy, then the leaks, the silence, the mood board selfies. They're not desperate acts, they're moves on a chessboard. Rachel Zegler might not just be reacting anymore. She might be rebranding. Moment. The leaks hit the internet. The fandom split in two on one side, rage on the other, reluctant support, and in between, a chaotic swirl of confusion, speculation, and outright trolling. Reddit threads lit up with brutal takes. She's gaslighting everyone. One user wrote, "Classic narcissist move play victim after wrecking the show." Another posted a meme of Zegler photoshopped onto the Titanic captioned, "Who sabotaged me on X, formerly Twitter?" Hashtags like Evita Zegler meltdown and Ninjustice for the cast started trending. Some fans compared her to past industry figures who tried to spin public disasters into comeback stories and failed miserably, but not everyone was laughing. Many fans, especially younger Gen Z followers, took a different stance. She was thrown into the deep end with no support. One viral thread argued, "She's been bullied for years, and now it's just fashionable to hate her." TikTok creators began posting long-form breakdowns weighing both sides. One clip titled, "Rachel was set up, and here's why" gained over 2 million views in 48 hours. It detailed backstage dynamics, alleged industry politics, and previous controversies, where Zegler was cast as the villain, sometimes unfairly. Even YouTube commentary channels jumped in with creators like Pop Psyche Stage T and Drama Digest. uploading hour-long deep dives into the Evita implosion. Most walked a tightrope, neither fully defending nor attacking, but framing Rachel as both, a product of fame and a player in the drama. But the most telling reaction, silence from the actual Evita cast, and that absence only fuels fan theories if they're not denying it. Maybe it's true or they're just staying classy, something Rachel should have tried no matter what side they're on. Everyone agrees on one thing: this isn't over. And Rachel Zegler's next move could either redeem her or finish what Evita started. Now that the leaks are out and the narrative is shifting, one question remains. What is Rachel Zegler planning next? Because if this really is a calculated strategy, then it's not ending herein. In fact, some insiders believe the leaked DMs and fan-baiting stories were just the opening move of a larger PR campaign. Whispers of a controlled media tour are already circulating, the kind of circuit designed not to apologize, but to reclaim control. We're talking a viral YouTube interview with a safe creator who won't press too hard, a carefully worded podcast appearance where she tears up just enough to trend, possibly even a surprise appearance at a major event, Met Gala, anyone, where she looks poised, glamorous, and unbothered. But there's another darker theory that she's running out of moves, that this blame game is her final card, a last-ditch effort to salvage her brand before studios start backing away for good. She's already rumored to be on thin ice with some agencies. Projects once lined up now seem paused and behind the scenes. Directors talk, producers talk. This narrative reboot fails. It may not just be Evita that's over, it might be Rachel's entire Hollywood trajectory. She's standing at a crossroads. She can double down, keep spinning the blame, keep the chaos going. Or she can finally step forward, own what happened, and start over the hard way. But in an industry that forgives almost anything except being boring, her next play better be bold. So here we are after weeks of silence after the implosion of one of the most hyped stage revival in recent memory. Rachel Zegler has finally spoken, not in a formal statement, not in a heartfelt video, but through shadows, through leaks, through rumors so loud they no longer feel like rumors. And what's most striking, she didn't say, "I'm sorry." She said, "They did this to me." That's not an apology, that's a pivot, a spin, a choice. And now the question isn't just what went wrong with Evita. The question is much bigger. It's about Rachel Zegler herself. Is she taking ownership of her collapse? Or is she doing everything she can to rewrite the ending? Let's look at the facts, the rehearsal drama confirmed by multiple backstage sources. Her conflicts with the cast whispered about for months before the leaks. The tension with the director. And vocal coach reportedly severe enough that some crew members threatened to walk off. And yet in her version, the one now spreading across TikTok and Reddit, she's the one who was cornered, targeted, outnumbered, sabotaged. It's a powerful story, but it's also convenient because let's not forget Rachel Zegler has been here before she made headlines during Snow White for criticizing the original story, mocking the prince character, and alienating the very fan base Disney was counting on. Instead of walking it back, she doubled down, calling her critics weird, misogynistic, and stuck in the past. Then there was the Shazam 2 debacle, where she publicly admitted she only took the role for the paycheck, sparking backlash from both fans and the studio. Again, no apology. Just a Twitter block, spree, and silence. Now with Evita, we're seeing the same playbook: go quiet when the backlash begins. Let the narrative build until curiosity peaks, leak a version of events where you're the misunderstood one reemerge. As a survivor, not a participant, it's crisis control in 4 acts, but a pattern is starting to form. No matter how many headlines change, one thing always seems to stay the same. None of it is ever Rachel's fault. To her fans, that's called strength. They say she's a young Latina woman trying to survive in a cutthroat industry, that she's bold, unfiltered, and unwilling to play by Hollywood's old rules. And because of that, people want to see her fall. And let's be real, those aren't empty claims. Hollywood is ruthless. Women, especially young women, face scrutiny their male peers often escape. And in the theater world, it's even more brutal, especially if you're not part of the insider crowd. So maybe Rachel was backed into a corner, maybe the set was toxic, maybe no one listened when she needed support. But even if all of that is true, there's still a difference between explaining your experience and blaming everyone else, because Evita wasn't a solo act. That show took a village, from choreographers and vocal coaches to tech crews and ensemble dancers. Everyone had a stake. Everyone felt the collapse. So when private leaks surface and the blame starts flying, it doesn't just reflect on Rachel. It hits the whole team. Some see those leaks as subtle digs, quiet shots fired at colleagues who were there in the trenches beside her. And it's starting to rub people the wrong way. Here's the risk. Play the victim too many times, and even your supporters might start asking, wait, what was your part in all this? And maybe we've reached that moment. Rachel Zegler's career isn't finished. Far from it. She's got the talent, the drive, and the kind of screen presence that makes you look twice. But here's the thing. Talent without humility, that's a hard act to sell. So if her final move in this whole Evita fallout is to rewrite the story and distance herself from the wreckage, she better brace for impact. Because while Hollywood loves a redemption arc, it doesn't forget. Burn enough bridges, and soon there's no one left to work with. Every whisper, every behind-the-scenes slight, it all adds up. And those echoes, they follow you. So here's where we're at. Is Rachel Zegler telling her truth, or just rewriting the ending to make herself look good? The answer depends who you ask. Some say she's rising from the ashes. Others think she's dodging, spinning, and making the hole even deeper. But one thing's clear. This isn't the end of her story. It's just the beginning. And if you've been following this drama, you'll want to stick around, because what comes next is going to be wild.